Hi, I'm Joseph Kern, Instructional Designer at Emporia State University. If you've ever had a document or a flyer that you wanted to make a little bit more interesting, but didn't want to use the pre-made templates because you don't like the colors or the layout or don't want to waste your time looking through all of them to find the right one, it's really easy to turn something boring into something a little more interesting. Number one, by just adding a picture of an adorable baby, but just by adding in some shapes, playing with the transparency of them and the layering of them, and so you can make something really boring, in this case a little bit less boring. But what these are shapes with transparency. So on your image or your document, once you have the text where you want, and I'm doing this in Publisher, by the way, you could also do it if you're on the Mac in Pages. I don't like doing this in Word because Word formats things and tries to put the pictures in line with the text, and just a little bit more difficulty to get through. So we're just going to start putting in some rectangles. Try to do it similar to that example that I showed. The way this is formatted is set to automatically make it this color. You can change those really easily, but just start putting things where you want them. And now I'm just going to hold down Control while I select all of these. And I want to, number one, send them all backward. Let's go all the way to the back. And now the text comes in front of them, so I don't have to worry about it being pushed out of the way. And I want to, under Format, if you're off of them, you can click on Format. I want to get rid of that outline. I want to look at the shape, and the transparency is going to be in here. So I want to make these all, let's go with 50% transparent. Now I want a couple of them, let's see what I did before, a couple of them to be a different shade. So I go to the shape fill, we'll go with that. Now when you do the transparency, if you want it to be a darker color, you have to put it in even darker, because when it goes transparent, it's going to lose some of its saturation. I can copy that one and paste it now, because I think originally I had two there. Not that it matters that much. And all this overhang is going to get cut off anyway, so you don't have to worry about where it's printing. I just do that to not have to worry about lining it up, because you don't have to worry about lining it up. I'm going to send this one backward, and there is a difference. If I send it back farther, it goes behind the blue, one level up, it's in front of the blue, and that's where I want. So we have different layering effects here, and you can play with however much you want those to overhang. Just basically move things around until it looks good. Now I also had this star effect. So for that, I inserted the shape of a star. When you draw it, if you want it to be, a consistent shape, anytime you're drawing a shape and you want it to be uniform, so if you're drawing an oval, you want it to be a circle, you hold down Shift, and then when you move, it keeps it in that consistent shape. Let's move this over a little bit. So what we have here is a progression of getting more and more solid. So I just have to move this, play with the formatting to have no outline, make it yellow, and in fill colors I want this one at the end. Let's make it a little bit transparent. Copy and paste that. We have another one. When I move it around, those I'm pointing at the screen like you can see it. The red lines there mean that it's lined up with that other shape, which is really handy for lining things up. I want it to be a little bit above, but transparency, I'm gonna go a little bit more transparent. We'll just do one more because I think you get it. So line it up with that one, then go up a little more. I'm just hitting the up button on my keyboard. And let's make that a lot more transparent. So there we have the progression. Now what you're also able to do is maybe instead of this rectangle, I want to have an actual picture, like something with texture. There are textures in here. By right-clicking instead of going to Format, Shape Fill, I can just right-click on it. There are textures you can choose from, so I could put a bunch of fish behind her. But instead of that, I just want to put it in a picture. So if I've copied a picture to my clipboard, I can just hit Paste. Let's get rid of that guy. I can put this in, and again, it's in front of what I had earlier. So I move it backward until it's in the right spot. Now that picture, I still want the transparency, and so that lives in Format Picture, a little bit different of a place. And let's make it a bit more transparent. Hooray! So we have a pretty simple way to quickly add some dynamic, some different color, and it all just goes behind the text that you had earlier. So give it a try, liven up your flyers and your documents, and make them pop a little bit more. Good luck! Oh, and as a little bonus, since we're talking about layering, a really easy way that you can spice up your text is copying it, pasting it, and changing the text color. So we're going to make it red, and then we can move it in front. So you can add shadow effects, or if we send it backwards, we have a very different looking shadow effect. So you can play with dark in front or the light in front, whichever way, but adds a little bit more to your big headlines.